Welcome to Just the Good Bits. Today we're going to go over the good, the bad, and the ugly of straw bale gardening. Let's start out with the good. I think the main good is, as you can see, we have no weeds. None whatsoever. At all, none. A few little strands of grass that don't bother, but are very easy to pull out. But that's it. And bug problem is to a minimal. However, we have had some, and if you would like to see the ones that were a video of the ones that were the worst, look up above and click on that link. But as for handling the garden, caring for it, it's very easy. I come out in the morning, check on the plants, see how they're doing, and turn on the hoses and the soakers and come back out and turn them off and see what I can pick, and that's it. That's about it. It pretty much takes care of itself other than watering it. Let's move on to the bad. One other thing I missed about the good, the vegetables that do well in straw bales do really well. Extremely well. All of the squash family does very well in straw bale gardens. But many of the plants who are supposed to thrive do not thrive very well. And that's the bad of straw bale gardening. The cabbage, I've got a couple on there just now starting to grow. Most of them are not, some of them not even much bigger than what they were when I planted them, and they're just really growing very slowly. The peppers, some of them doing okay, but they're not doing very well. They're not growing well. As you can see how the tomatoes and the other things are growing, these are not growing very fast at all. None of the peppers are growing fast. Like I said in the squash, this cantaloupe down here has gone wild. And that over there is watermelon, and it's not doing as well as the cantaloupe, but it's starting to do much better. The lettuce over there, you can see it there, hasn't grown much at all. So those larger ones, I planted that size. I'll let them get really big, or much bigger than what I normally would before I planted them in a garden, before I planted them, because the ones I did plant, most of them died. And they're just not growing. Lettuce isn't growing. The strawberries is not doing very well. Beans, it just doesn't grow. It's just not, there's a few beans on it, but they're not growing. And other ones have been killed off. But I will say, a lot of these that didn't do very well in the straw bales haven't grown. Like I said, you can see the strawberries aren't growing at all. They were hit really hard by the mushrooms. The cabbage was, the strawberries were. Pickles have come back. They were hit pretty hard. We had pickles, two kinds, and the pickling, the small pickles, they all died. All we have left is standard, the regular pickles. But anyway, this leads us to the ugly, and there's two problems. One, which is the biggest problem, and if you want to see a video on just how bad these mushrooms were, and as you can see here in the cabbage, very heavy in the cabbage, but this is nothing compared to what these mushrooms were, the problems that we've had with them. But like I said, if you want to see, look up above, there's a link up above, click on that for a video to see just how bad these mushrooms were. And as these peas here, the peas still have many, many mushrooms. And as you can see, nothing like it was covered with mushrooms in the beginning. So was the strawberries and all of this. But the mushrooms are still here. They still are showing no signs of leaving. And see, this is just a standard pickle. These are standard, they just haven't grown full size yet. We picked our first pickle. I keep calling them pickle because that's what I wanted to turn them into. I'm not going to have enough. Not yet anyway. But the cucumbers, we picked one, put it in a salad, and it's still a little green. So I don't know how big they got to be. I mean, it was edible, but not flavorful. Anyway, it's getting close to time to put a shade cloth. Our temperatures are staying in the 90s and high and above that. So it's getting, we need to start, getting ready to put a shade cloth. But my fear is when we do, the mushrooms will come back in full force. And you see how they get under there and hide. And they have still killed off flowering vegetables. Not flowering, but once they, when they still have the flower on it and it's a little vegetable, little bitty squash or whatever, and the mushrooms come up, I don't know, it kills them. So anyway, and here, this is a little bit of growth on this strawberry. The other ugly thing about straw bale gardening, and I've got one over here, we had a rain last night, so as it starts decomposing, and if you can see it, how it's sloping, let me come up and get a view from the back. You can see how it's sloping, and you have to, force it back up. There's some sloping down there as well. There's several of them that are sloping, and you have to work to keep, because these are, you can see how it's splitting in the middle. It's decomposing, so we've got plants on the side, so we can't board it up on one side. We'll board it up on the other and see what, you do whatever you have to do to keep them. These are really bad here. This is really sloping here. Not as bad as the peas though, but it's starting to break. And it's hurting that, oh, something happened to one of our, what in the hell is that? Let's see if I can show you. Anybody has any idea what's this? What's on our butternut squash? That one's gone. Appreciate you letting me know. I don't want that to happen to any of the other ones. Anyway, happy gardening, and we'll see you later.